right. Hey, okay, good morning. Kristine Dunn here. I'm with eXp Realty and I'm in the process of starting this new series. I want to add more value to my community and give people a better feel about what's going on in the market here in Naples, what it's like to sell a home if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, and the things that are important during a transaction. Um, so today I actually just want to talk about um, my advice to sellers based on the last three houses that I toured. Um, really, you guys, this is an interesting market. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are still looking to buy and sell. The market is moving. It's a really exciting time to be selling real estate and helping people through this process. There's a lot of people in the Northeast that have been really keeping an eye on different communities, and now that they're seeing properties dwindling, they are just kind of scooping them up as they become available so that they don't miss out. So there are some things that they're going to be able to look past, but my advice to sellers based on the last three houses that I toured um, is that you want to keep watching so that you can hear what I'm about to tell you. The first thing that I want to share is that it's really important, you guys, to clean your homes. I don't care if your house is outdated as much. If your home is clean, the buyer is going to be so much more comfortable walking through it. This sounds really simple, but a lot of sellers are not doing this. And I want you to clean your house like you've never cleaned it before. I mean, I want your house to be spotless. While touring the first house last week, the buyers actually noticed that the sellers didn't do the deep cleaning. Like they noticed, especially if you have pets, you guys, you have got to clean up. And I'm talking like they noticed dirty fingerprints on the white cabinets in the kitchen. They noticed the carpets needed to be shampooed. The baseboards were dirty. There were smudges on the windows. These are simple things that you can very easily do on your own that don't take a lot of money. Even the foreclosures that are coming on the markets right now are clean. The majority of them are almost moved and ready. They may be missing appliances at this point, but even the foreclosures are coming out, and these banks have figured out that if the house is clean, it's going to sell faster. So you don't want the buyers walking through the house already thinking about how much it's going to take them just to even be able to move their things in because the house is filthy. You want them more or less to think about the cookouts that they're going to be having in the backyard or the Thanksgiving that they're going to be having with their family in the kitchen. These types of things are what you want the buyers to think of, not how dirty the house is. So that's number one. Number two is remove clutter. If you can remove your outdated furnishings and items, that's even better. But clutter is awful for a buyer to walk through. If you can create a more neutral space for the new buyers or the potential buyers to be able to see their personal belongings in the house, that is what we are shooting for, right? If your house is still, decorated in the 90s, like that's okay, you guys. I mean, it's Naples. These houses are built, you know, sometimes in the 80s and the 90s and the 70s. We've even got houses built in the 60s. It's okay if things are outdated, but let's make sure they're clean and make them as neutral as possible. So if you have crazy colors in painting in different rooms, go ahead and neutralize those. Maybe get a fresh coat of paint throughout the house and just, again, make sure that's clean. It's not a deal breaker, but it is really important. If there's wall-to-wall carpet, including carpet in the bathroom, maybe consider at least taking the carpet out of the bathroom and putting in tile. I mean, it's really weird when you walk in a house and there's carpet in the bathroom. And I have seen it. I'm sure you have too. But um, so quick updates like putting tile in the bathroom. If you can remove, super outdated furnishings that are really crazy in patterns, that would be great too. It does make a massive difference. And it will ultimately just make it easier to sell your house and it will reduce the days on market. So for the second tip, take care of your house and remove any outdated styles. Make it as neutral as possible. And number three, highlight the home's best features, you guys. Not every house is perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. People want to make it their own anyway. So for house number 3, the couple actually had a list of all the mechanicals. They shared what the age of the roof. It basically they had a seller's disclosure available, ready and willing to share. So the buyers already knew the age of the roof. They could tell that the appliances were newer, the air conditioning was newer, the roof had just been replaced. There were some manuals left on the counter for the newer appliances. There was a smart home system in the home, and so that those items were out kind of displaying. And buyers want to know the answers to these things. So keeping them front, center, and ready is just making them feel more comfortable that they're not walking into something they don't know anything about. And if you have an awesome pool with a waterfall, maybe you have an incredible backyard space or a back patio space. I know in Florida especially, outdoor space is huge. So if you've got a beautiful patio and you want to really highlight that, I would encourage you to do so. If it's not too hot in the dead of summer like it is right now, open up those sliders. Let that buyer see what is it going to feel like when they walk in and they have all of this outdoor space that they have access to that is just an extension of the indoor space. That's the type of thing. If there's a water feature in your pool, have it on. If there's some cool lights, have them on. If you've got a funny float that you can throw in the pool, do it, especially if you've got a great pool. Um, so what I share with every seller is to put together a checklist of all the really important items, and things that make your house stand out from maybe your neighbor's house or some other houses that buyers might be looking at. This just really makes your house shine, and there's no reason not to share all of these amazing things. So if you're thinking about selling and you want to get your hands on a copy of my checklist, just let me know. You can send me a direct message or you can comment below with your email address and I'll get you a copy over right away. Um, and just to do a quick recap of what I covered today, in case you're jumping in late, here's my advice to my sellers based on the last 3 properties that I saw, or showed rather. And the first piece was actually just to make sure that your house is clean, you guys. Please make sure your house is clean. People can look past a lot of things, but if your house is dirty, they're going to see it. The second thing is remove clutter if you have some outdated furnishings, and then if you can keep it as neutral as possible, please do that. If your personal photos and your personal things are everywhere, the buyer will be looking at all of your items and not necessarily thinking what their family would be like in the space. And then the third thing, of course, is to highlight your home's best features. Make sure that the buyer knows the ages of things. Make sure that the buyer is already looking at your brand new, fresh painted walls, and that if your master bathroom has been updated, make sure that all the lights are on and you've got fresh, clean towels out. Create a space that is inviting and that they would want to make their own. Um, Again, you can request my free home selling prep checklist, and to learn of any of my insider tips I'll be sharing with my sellers and buyers alike. I'm going to be here every Thursday at 10 a.m. and I look forward to it. Oh, and before I go, I just wanted to mention, if anyone's thinking about putting a for sale by owner in their yard this summer, make sure that you reach out to me for a guide first, because I know you're going to want to know a lot about that process, and I want to help you make that decision and deter you from becoming the house that has sat on the market all summer. So thanks so much for tuning in today. If you have a favorite local business that you love, please tag them in the comments so I can add them to my businesses to spotlight. I'm also going to be spotlighting local businesses. I've kind of been doing that, but I'm going to be trying to do that weekly as well. And thank you for tuning into this week's buyer and sellers. Gosh, what did I call it? My seller's advice. The 3 things of the houses that I toured. And have a great rest of your week.